morgon Grimbo! Hej! Åh, tack! Good morning! Alltså, it is winter! Wait. Almost winter. Look at that! Kolla vad bra! Did you go out a little bit earlier than us? We are at our off-grid cabin. We made it again, which is so exciting. We thought our last trip to the off-grid cabin would be the final one for the season, but luckily it wasn't. Last time we were here, the landscape was all dressed up in vibrant autumn colors, with fiery oranges stretching as far as the eye could see. The beluga whales were putting on a show in the fjord, and the air hadn't yet gotten that cold, crisp bite. This time, though, we returned to a completely different scene. Winter had taken over, turning everything into a breathtakingly snowy wonderland. When we bought the cabin, there were a few urgent repairs that needed attention, especially the foundation, which has been at the top of our to-do list before the snow arrives and winter sets in. Besides that, there is a long list of tasks we need to tackle to prepare the cabin for the long dark winter when we won't be able to access it. So this trip will be all about getting everything in order, as it will likely be our last visit for the next few months. My name is Cecilia and I live on Svalbard, a remote island near the North Pole. If you're new here, welcome to Life in the Arctic. I would love for you to subscribe and join the fam. If you're not new here, welcome back. Oh, so we are here just for a few days now. We were so happy to be able to go out here again after the last trip. And how quickly did it change? Now it's like full on, well, it isn't full on winter, but it's definitely not like fall in the same way anymore. It's snowy and it's cold and it's beautiful. Oh, look at that. It looks like everything looks like it's a painted background. It's just wild. We came here yesterday, so maybe we should look at how we even got here. Let's do that first. Bye.
Du fick in det.
This boat is the previous owner's boat. Wait, Grim is very scared. Christopher is getting Grim's life jacket, so we have that. He finds this very scary. As you can see, he's very stressed, but this is the only way for us to get there, Grim. So this is the previous owner's boat that we could use for the remainder of the season, because it's just, you know, a few weeks left, not even. It's like 1 week left. It's gonna be our last trip. So we can get there easily. Okay, I have to take care of Grim now. The boat ride from Longyearbyen to our off-grid cabin isn't very long. It's just under an hour, which is one of the reasons we felt very lucky to get a cabin in Coles Bay. It's a great location to reach in both winter and summer. Since the entire boat ride follows the coastline, we rarely pass through different weather zones, which means we can usually gauge the weather by just looking out the windows at our cabin. Weather is always the biggest challenge when leaving the village here on Svalbard. We've had plenty of summer boat trips where we've been stuck in different areas due to bad weather, or winter days when we couldn't leave for a snowmobile trip because of a whiteout. Jag trycker röda knappen först. Ska jag putta ut det? So Christopher has now left me ashore here with all of the stuff, which is so smart because it makes it a lot easier not having to take all of this on the little dinghy. So now he's gonna go out to the buoy and he's gonna put the boat there, and then he's gonna take the little boat, the dinghy, to shore. And we're gonna wait here for him. Ska jag putta ut dig? but I just need to push him out first. All of this is like frozen seaweed slush. It's a very lovely texture, I must say. The cabin is all the way up there. This is our boathouse. Hey, Pippies, come, come. Yeah. Because you're on land now, darling. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, oi, I'm so sorry. Son, vet du. Put that in here. And then we're going to change. No powder bizzles. So shallow, we have to put the boat on the buoy that is, I think this is about 1 kilometer away from the cabin. So we can walk up. When we were here the first time, we took the buoy or the dinghy all the way over there. So we only had a short walk. But from here still, you know, it is all the way uphill, but it actually isn't too bad, you know. 1 kilometer with a heavy backpack is so completely fine. It's so beautiful. It's so crispy, and it's like white and blue and orange all at the same time. Incredible. Look, seaweed smells delicious. Oi, oi, oi. Ocean, beautiful, beautiful. Look, another masterpiece. I've created my very first pattern artwork, and it's all thanks to Skillshare, the sponsor of today's video. With polar night approaching and extra time on my hands, I've decided to make the most of it by learning new things. Right after completing my first Skillshare class on Procreate, I realized just how good this platform is for learning. So straight away after that one, I added a bunch more classes that I want to do into a playlist, and today I sat down to do one of those. It's called Drawing Seamless Patterns in Procreate plus Professional Surface Design Tips. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, offering thousands of classes. When logging on to Skillshare, I provided a few details about my interests, and Skillshare instantly curated personalized class recommendations that align perfectly with my goals. Following along with the lessons while also doing it at the same time is so effective and also so much fun. And just look at this masterpiece. I made this, another one for the wall. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So get started today. Let's head back to the video. Whew. Vad är din väska, Glinda? Vad är din väska? Ja, tungt men jättemycket bättre. Oh, that is so good! This is the best way ever to hike with the weapon. Oh, it's so much more comfortable. It's still heavy, but it's all contained on your back, and then you just zip it up to your hip. Now we're gonna start walking. It's gonna take us, let's see, it's 20 past 3 now, so we'll see. It's probably gonna be 20 minutes at most, I think. We shall see, we shall see. Oh, what a day. It's gorgeous. Your pack is not too heavy, right?
No, this first time ever, it's not heavy.
Okay, good. All of the streams have frozen to ice. It's pretty solid. We did that in 03:35. Good job.
15 minutes.
15? Det är bra. Fast. Hey! My pulse is like 175. The first thing we're gonna do now is he's gonna go get the key. And we're gonna take all of these off the wall. So when we come inside, we have some light, otherwise it's gonna be pitch black. You see we have them on every single window. They are covers to protect the windows from polar bears.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Det är det som är problemet.
Hej! Turn the propane on. I brought water with me for drinking. I almost always do that. So I'm gonna make a coffee straight away because there's nothing nicer than a coffee. We know this by now. I feel like while the cabin is heating up, this would be nice. Hey! Hallå! Hallå, hallå, Petter.
Alright, so we have two different waters. One who we bring from the village and one who we take from the creek. So this is dishwater who we're taking from the creek. Here we have the drinking water. The water inside the cabin is not frozen, but the water we brought from the outhouse, that's solid. That's frozen. So we're gonna put them up here and get them ready for... This is drinking, and then I have another one for dishes up here. And it's no stress to leave these ones. You just don't put the lid on. The lid is like half open, so it can expand. If you have everything on, if you put the lids on, then you're probably gonna explode the plastic. But just leave it a bit open, and then it can freeze. Wintertime, we always gonna bring fresh water out. So we're gonna have like dishwater here, who we take from the creek. So that's always gonna be frozen. So then we're gonna put here, close to the log burner. So we get, in like 24 hours, we have water. It's gonna melt.
So what the previous owners have done is that they brought out water on snowmobile at the end of snowmobile season. They brought out drinking water in these huge containers, and then they left it here in the cabin, and then since the temperature gets warmer, it all thaws. That's how we've had, and they have had, drinking water here this whole summer, because carrying drinking water up from the boat is just too heavy. But we looked into getting one of those purifiers, you know, when you get creek water and make it into drinking water, and I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. What do you think, Christopher?
No.
So we're definitely going to get one of those, and we will be using that in the creek water to see, you know, if it's going to be a good solution. We brought 2 packets of Oatly this time because my bag started off not weighing anything. And with that information, I was like, oh my God, I can bring so many things with me. So I filled it with so much random stuff. I'm like, I'll bring in one of my books. I'll bring... Oops, so it's all here. Oh no, I forgot that I need to warm this little baby. It is about 4,000 more times tasty. With varm milk. So we're gonna do warm milk. Oof, we didn't even know if we were gonna be able to go to the cabin after our last trip we were here. But now that we have this boat we can use, and also the weather has been so calm. Usually there's like a bunch of storms this time of year, and we've had one actually just before this. But the weather is incredible. Like this whole week is just no wind. 4 to 5 minus degrees and beautiful. So we're so happy to be here. I think this might be the last one though, the last trip here. My book. I'm like, well, it weighs a ton, but it's coming. Food for Grim of the genius invention. Disktrasor. And then I have clothing. Ooh, I'm gonna keep my hat on until it actually gets warm in here. Right now, 4 degrees in here at the moment. But it doesn't take that long for this to heat everything up, so that's gonna be nice. The reason why this probably will be our last trip here this year is because the boat docks are gonna be taken out of the water soon. I think it's in 1 week or 1.5 weeks. And when that goes up, all of the boats go out of the water, and then we don't have snowmobile weather until the first snow really arrives. And this is kind of more like the first dusting. So we need the first proper snow, and then we can go. I know that they've said that it was a lot of years ago, maybe decades ago, they could go as early as November. But, you know, it all depends on the weather. We could go maybe in December if it's gonna be nice, we'll see. But we know for sure that we will be able to go out probably, we know for sure that probably we will be able to go out in January. So that's gonna be exciting. It doesn't matter that there is no light at all at that time because we have the tracks here, and yeah, so we can still get here. But that is the reason we can't get here like October and November, and probably not December. What are you doing, Christopher?
I'm putting light in here.
Let's go and see what he's doing.
It's so dark in here, so I'm gonna put some light, and it's like so you just need to knock and then it will light on for 15 seconds. So that I think is a good idea to have in there so we can see what we have. It's batteries. So it's like 3 AAA batteries and 3 of them, and they last for 15 seconds when you knock. So it's probably gonna last for a year or 2. And it will light on. I only got 2 of them, but it would be nice to have 4. And here. So, at least a little bit of light in here. I already ordered some other ones that I'm gonna put in here, so we're gonna have everywhere. So we're just missing down here and in here. But at least we have 2.
Woo! This is the first of the season. Oh, the smell. Christmas is coming. When we bought the cabin, there was one issue that we knew we were going to have to fix as fast as possible. And the previous owners told us about it. It wasn't anything that we didn't know when we bought it. And it's something that you can definitely expect from any cabin off-grid. Yeah. Because these cabins are not on poles. So it is the fact that now it has been fixed though, because we're going to tell you what we did. This part of the cabin, or in the middle, there's a beam. And it was breaking. It was falling. I don't know how you can say. It was collapsing. So the middle part of the cabin, everything that it stood on was starting to sink in and it was starting to break, which means that the whole cabin was kind of like at a slope. And you can even see this on the first footage that we took when we came here, that there's a huge, just kind of like, the roof is a bit like this. But Christopher was here with Arvidas, who built our cabin. And we're going to show you what they did, but he's also going to explain it.
So what we did was lift the cabin. Torsten told me that he normally you do this like every second year or something, but now it was like we had to lift quite high here in the middle of the cabin. So it was like, I think we lifted about like 25 centimeters as most in some parts of the cabin, and it's not like fully done yet, but it's as good as it gets until next year, when we will start doing some fine tuning. Like, so what we did is like we have this compressor and some pillows that can take like 20 ton, and then like normal like jacks that you can lift, and you take this wood material, cut out big pieces, and then you're starting to lift under the cabin and on the sides of the cabin. Under the cabin was the main issue here, like that we had to lift the most. So it was a lot of hours under the cabin here, especially in the middle part of the cabin. These two here, it was the biggest like work that we had to do. And Arvidas spent, I don't know, like 15 hours under the cabin. And I was like cutting wood and fixing and like showing in, and he like lifted, and the thing is like it was in the middle of the summer, like start of autumn, so the ground wasn't frozen yet either, so we had to stabilize the wood in the ground, and that was kind of difficult to get, especially under here. So when we use this pillow that you just put like a compressor and you fill up with air and it's supposed to lift the cabin, it just went down. So we had to pile more wood and then take the pillow again until it gets stabilized, and then the cabin started to lift. What is used for jacking, lifting the building is we use these ones. You put to the compressor and they blow up, so they get the size of this. Have two of those, and then we have like normal jacks that we can use as well, like manual. But these ones are quite good. They work excellent. Like, goes fast to take them up. And the compressor, we have like two Honda generators here, so that's what we use for electricity when we use like tools. So that was like some kind of hard work, I think. Like Arvidas, he's good at it, so I don't think I had managed to do it by myself. I think next year I can do it myself, but next year it's like fine-tuning. It's not, you know, it's not the big operation, it's just like fixing a bit. So that we will do probably beginning of June. As soon as we come out here with the boat next year, we will start to lift. And I seen already, it's not, the cabin isn't like flat, like straight. I can see some parts that are like a little bit on the sides, and that we're gonna take next year and try to fix the last parts. So yeah, that's the short version of how we lift the cabin. The cabins on Svalbard especially built like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, you didn't have all these machines. Even if you had these machines who can put like poles in the ground, like long time ago, you didn't have these. That's big machines and you can't take them out. So you do it old school. And a cabin off-grid isn't supposed to be like perfect, and it isn't perfect, but it's good. It's working, and that's enough, you know. Like, so you have to live with this and do it every second year or something. Lift it a little bit. This works. They've been doing it for hundreds of years, and it's working. Good enough.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm splitting this trip into 2 videos because there's just so much I want to share with you. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll know when I post. Next week, we'll be closing down the cabin for the long winter ahead. Thank you so much for being here. Love you all. See you next time. Bye.